Warning. This video might contain some materials that may not be suitable for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. I'm sure most of you heard about this 2010 film called Despicable Me. It was really popular when it was released on July 2010. Well, I love that film too. Most notably, everyone recognized the cute little creatures named Minions, who served as supervillain turned hero villainous group. And following the film's success, it made two sequels, released in 2013 and 2017. A spin-off prequel film, Minions, was released in 2015, which told the epic story of the Minions before they met Gru. A sequel to the Minions film, Minions: The Rise of Gru, is scheduled to release in 2022, following its delays from a July 2020 release following the global COVID-19 pandemic, shutting down every cinema and theater in the world. Well, speaking of theaters and cinemas, I used to work at the AMC theater in Northern California up until March 2020 when the coronavirus hit. The work itself wasn't exactly all that remarkable up until February of that year. Here's what happened. On this particular day, I was cleaning up Cinema Hall 7, which had just shown The Call of the Wild. I swept the uneaten snacks on the chairs, floor, and little crevices in the walls. I sprayed the popcorn and soda-filled air with some air freshener spray, and cleaned up all the soda spills. I was leaving the cinema hall until I saw what looked to be a yellow "Do Not Cross" tape. The tape you will see in a crime scene. The tape was on the door that led to Cinema Hall 10, which really just had a lock on the door handles. I asked my fellow colleagues if they knew anything about this cinema hall, and they gave me a look of confusion. Sometimes I would get responses like, "What are you talking about?" and "I don't know what you're talking about, man." As my curiosity kept rising more and more, I asked the co-manager of the cinema if he knew anything about this cinema hall. Do you know anything about Cinema Hall 10? I asked. "What?" he responded. It was like he didn't know it exists and that I was the only one who knew. Stressed, I led my co-manager to the door of Cinema Hall 10, and he followed me. I showed him the door of the cinema hall, and he became as pale as a ghost. He told me to follow him into his office, and told me to sit down upon arriving. I sat down, and he told me this entire story. He said that back in 2010, during the showing of then brand new Despicable Me in that cinema hall, a hacker somehow managed to show a disturbing version of the film. Burr said that the moviegoers in Cinema Hall 10 were terrified, and one of them was immediately escorted to the hospital due to an underlying medical condition triggered into effect by the footage. It said that one of the moviegoers told about this horrific experience. He said that the moviegoer told a local news reporter about the movie. The co-manager then opened up his TV and played what looked to be a recording. Keep in mind that this was the older location, and the office still had one of those 2000 TVs with a VCR embedded in it. His TV played a recording of what looked to be a news report. The moviegoer then appeared on camera and said that he and the audience were shown the most scariest thing he had ever seen. He said that in the scene where Gru and Margot were falling when he tried to save her from Vector, instead of the Minions successfully catching Gru and Margot, they tried to save them but failed. A disgusting splat sound was heard in a picture shown. Scary music began to play as the camera showed Gru and Margot's dead bodies. The strange part was the bodies looked like their voice actors Steve Carell and Miranda Cosgrove, respectively. After showing their corpses on screen for about 10 seconds, the credits rolled, except there was no music and not even the mid-credit scene with the Minions in the white background. The film ended. After it ended, a pair of hands emerged from the bottom of the screen. A Minion with blue eyes appeared and screamed so loud that the now threatening audience fled the cinema hall. Other moviegoers reported that everyone else told them not to watch the film that was shown in that movie hall, as they ran out of the theater with their crying children. The co-manager turned off his TV and included this story. He said that after the incident, no one went inside, even when it showed the original non-hack version of Despicable Me. One of the parents even tried suing AMC, but the case was settled, with the court finding in favor of AMC, and the company issued a public apology on its official Twitter and Facebook account. The cinema I was working in was forced to close that cinema hall due to low attendance, and also to prevent future incidents from happening again. I left the office, and that was that. The next day, I started to go to that cinema hall and clean it. I was just cleaning Cinema Hall 2, where it's showing Birds of Prey. I made sure no one was around and unlocked the door via the key I had in my pocket, which I had gotten rather secretly by sneaking into the manager's office when he went to go to the bathroom. When the door opened, there was so much dust in the air that I coughed a bit. I opened my flashlight, and sure enough, it was empty. I could see leftover popcorn and soda stains all over the floor and chairs. There were even popcorn and soda cups on the chairs. I looked onto one of the soda cups in one of the chairs, and I gagged and almost vomited, but was somehow able to hold it in. The glass was filled with soda, but on top of it was some disgusting mold, and I swear I saw a plant growing on it. I looked at the popcorn and was mushy. So mushy that it actually began to melt onto one of the seats. I decided to clean it, but it was so dark I had to hold my flashlight in my mouth to clean the seats. As I was cleaning, I heard the door slowly open, and I ducked behind the seat to make sure no one knows I was trespassing in this hall. The figure then left the hall as I stood up from my highest spot. Then I went to the projector room of Cinema 10. As I went up there, I found something horrifying. It was the body of someone. The body was unrecognizable, and I shined my flashlight onto the person in question. It appeared as if he was practically being eaten by rodents. Then I heard someone's voice said, "Hey, what are you doing here?" Then I turned around and saw someone holding a knife. Horrified, I ran towards the door, which was open a crack, and left in a hurry. I locked the door of the auditorium and never told anyone about my experience. I didn't know if that was the hacker from 10 years ago, or was it a deranged psycho. I guess I'll never know. If you ever find this cinema hall in this branch of AMC, do not go in there. Seriously, I'm begging you. So that was Cinema Hall 10, a Despicable Me creepypasta, and that was a pretty good one, and it felt like a rehash on the Toy Story creepypasta called Feeder 6, but here, there's more explanation on what the heck has happened to this one feeder hall that was closed down. There's something. Sorry for the little interruption, but about the Cinema Hall 10 20 creepypasta, about there's like more explanation about this closed down feeder than in the Toy Story one on Feeder 6, which is there's explanation on what really happens at Cinema Hall 10 than what the Toy Story creepypasta explained about what happened in Feeder 6, and at the end, where the person can actually go there and seeing a dead body at the projector room, and there's some disgusting things at that closed down feeder and all that. But at least there's no crazy hyper realistic blood and stuff. But also that little jump scare thing on the minion with blue eyes. Yeah, just imagine seeing that in real life. If the hack version of School Me is actually real or a feign. If can't explain what's the word is, if that hack version of School Me is a feign, I think that's better. Sorry. So overall, a pretty good creepypasta that it didn't have too much crazy stuff. It's just more of a mystery, a mystery creepypasta. Well, more mystery. Well, it has just some explanation on what really happened, on what's going on in the story than the Toy Story Feeder 6 creepypasta, which kind of has lots of mystery, and also there's a possibility that the man with the knife might be the hacker guy that terrorizes in each feeder he invades in, but who knows. So yeah guys, hope you have a pretty good day, and see you for another video tomorrow, hopefully. So bye bye. It's screwing time.